along with style, off-meta gameplay and builds.
Hey everybody, welcome to Grimsforge Gaming. Today we're going to jump into one of my first PVE builds that I'm sharing this year, and this is going to be my Doctor Strange. This is an Arcanist 1-bar build. This is using Oaken Soul, and I think the highest arc that I've gotten to is either 6 or 7 on him. 6'4", 7'2", I don't know, I'd have to look at it and see, but it's up there. 6 and 7, it'll get to those higher arcs. Once I get to arc 3 or above, I switch out my ultimate to the defensive ult, and we run offensive up until that point, and then defensive because things hit so hard after that. So let's jump into the build here. First thing, we are running Oaken Soul. You can see it's infused with weapon and spell damage, and you get all those major and minor buffs. This allows you to play a 1-bar build. The first armor set that I'm using is called the Macabre set. Macabre Vintage, or Macabre, however you pronounce it. 2-piece, 3-piece, 4-piece, and 5-piece, all weapon and spell damage, and then another 5-piece, when you kill a monster, they burst with blood magic, dealing 50% of their max health to enemies within 6 meters as bleed damage, up to 24,000 damage. Okay, this damage cannot critically strike. This effect can occur once every half second. The important thing about that is the abilities that we're using pool everything together, and if there's a boss mob, I just focus on killing the smaller mobs, and I'll pool them all up around the boss and then systematically kill the smaller mobs, and we'll turn around and be able to put a lot of extra damage into the boss doing that. And so that seems to work out really well. And then the next armor set that we have it paired with is Mechanical Acuity. Mechanical Acuity, I use this for PvP, so we're not optimized on this build whatsoever. So to get arc 6, 7 or whatever is pretty impressive, because you can see we're running in-pen. And then I think some of our enchants are a hodgepodge of different things, but if we were running divines on everything, it would be that much better. But Mechanical Acuity, 2-piece max stam, 3-piece max mag, 4-piece weapon and spell damage, 5-piece. When you deal non-critical damage, you gain a stack of Mechanical Acuity for 4 seconds, granting you 20% critical strike chance per stack. Stacking up once every 1 second for 5 times. Upon reaching max stacks, or after that effect ends, this effect can occur once every 25 seconds. A lot of people are like really worried about a 25-second cooldown on Mechanical Acuity. The thing about that is the 25-second time window, the cadence of that works out really well for the respawn in Infinite Archive, or even dungeons between this group of mobs and trash mobs and that group of trash mobs and stuff. So it's really not that big of a deal. Mechanical Acuity, you'll get it for the first group of mobs, and then the third group of mobs, and or the boss fight, right? And then once you get into the higher arcs, you'll get it basically once or twice every pull of mobs. So that's really no problem. If you wanted to switch out Mechanical Acuity because you can't get over that situation, I would run with Witch Mother's Gaze, is it? Let me double check that. Night Mother's Gaze, sorry, Witch Mother's Gaze. Night Mother's Gaze. And so that 2-piece is critical, 3-piece is weapon and spell damage, 4-piece is critical, 5-piece, when you deal direct damage, you apply Major Breach to the enemy, reducing their physical and spell damage by 6k. And so you can, instead of Mechanical Acuity, you can run Night Mother's Gaze and just strip pen from people, you know, get better penetration on mobs. So let's look at these pieces here real quick, and you'll see we're running heavy there, heavy, medium, medium, heavy, medium, medium. Okay, so this is going to be 3 heavy, 4 medium. And so probably the 3 heavy could be these top 3 and then 4 medium there. It doesn't really matter, but 3 heavy, 4 mediums, what we're running on this. You can see our recoveries are pretty good. I haven't hit a potion yet, and our recoveries aren't bad at all. And our pen is actually pretty respectable. And then the thing about our critical, when we're running this mechanical acuity, it builds by stacks. So it'll jump up by stacks of 20%. So we'll go very quickly from 31% to 51% to 71%. So even when it's not at full stacks, you're still going to see a lot of critical damage coming out. And then we have over 100% critical chance when it's fully procced. And so our weapon and spell damage is just a little over 5k, almost 5100. I really like where this is at. Our resistances are respectable on a 4 light armor setup, but we hide behind bubbles at like in the lower arcs. I'll just shield up, which is a massive shield, and then at the higher arcs I'm using the shield ultimate, which is awesome. So we can face tank on this. It's usually not a problem even with these lower resistances until we get to arc 4 or 5 and we need our ultimate ready to face tank some of this stuff. So yeah, been a very fun build. That's what we've run, and let's jump into the CP here and go from there. So right now on CP, I've got Steed's Blessing for 20% movement speed out of combat. I've got Rationer for extra time duration on our foods. We do use the expensive foods, so that helps out. And right now, because we're running around a lot, I've got Treasure Hunter and Master Gatherer. But these two, if you spend a lot of time in Cyrodiil or wherever and you need the mount speed, you could do that route. Pretty much whatever you want, but I'm running with these two. I'm not a vampire on Doctor Strange, so this maybe makes some sense if you're trying to reduce your sneak cost and you are a vampire, or there's a lot of other things you could do. Now up here we are running Untamed Aggression for an extra 150 weapon and spell damage. We're running Wrathful Strikes for an extra 205 weapon and spell damage. We're running Reaving Blows. When you deal direct damage, you heal for 8% of the damage done. And our primary spammable that builds Crux, our Rune Blades, will heal us, so that's pretty nice. And then we're running Master at Arms. Increase your damage done with direct damage attacks. And there is some sneaky weapon and spell damage hidden in here, so don't forget that. And I believe there's some extra healing right there. And then if you jump in here, there's some extra mitigation, so make sure you grab those in the blue tree. In the red tree, we're running Rejuvenation for some more recoveries. We're running Boundless Vitality for an extra 1400 max health. You can also get this one here for an extra 560 max health. And then when we jump in here, this is the part that makes this build a lot of fun in Infinite Archive, or a lot of fun in dungeons. And the first one is, whenever you kill an enemy, you gain Major Expedition, which is plus 30% movement speed, and we get that for 6 seconds. So something dies, we're moving really fast. Also, we have Celerity for an extra 10% movement speed on top of that at all times. So we can move around pretty quick. We're not a sorcerer, we don't have streaks, so mobility-wise, this is how we're going to be mobile. So we don't have to feel like we need to tank down on things. So yeah, so those two CP, this here. And that is my Doctor Strange. And then some people will be like, hey, that's really cool. How'd you make Doctor Strange look like Doctor Strange? So I think what we'll need to do is we'll need to go to my house, because it's not going to show me the outfit style. Yeah, let me jump to my house real quick and we'll show you the outfit style. Oh, you'll get a tour of my home here real quick too. I've got an arena built out in front of it. We would hold dueling tournaments and beginner dueling tournaments and stuff at my home, so it was a lot of fun. This whole thing all built up here, pretty crazy. I'll show you that just before we run in. This is the stands where everybody sits. They sit around and everybody fights down in the pit. And then here's where we took the photos of the winners. So first, second, third, and we'd see everybody fight. And you could also stand around the ledge here, right? Lots of fun. Okay, let's go in here and look at this real quick. Shoulders, we're using the Prophet's Shawl, which was the closest thing I could come to a cape for Doctor Strange. And then we're using the Imperial Gloves number 3, which look a lot like what Doctor Strange uses. We're using Mercenary Breeches. We're using the Ancient Elf Jerkin. And so, yeah. And then our belt is the Aldmeri Sash and the Outlaw Boots. So that's our Doctor Strange. And he's been a lot of fun. And I can show you guys a PV. Would I use this in PvP? Probably not in its current capacity. This ability right here is not, while it has dot pressure, it's not like super PvP friendly. And this ability is not PvP friendly at all. The target area on it is such a thin line. Even if I could pull people to a straight line and start beaming them, people can sidestep this very easily, and then I'm trying to, you know, keep them in the path. So what would happen is I would change over to this Rune of the Colorless Pool. That would be my CC, and then I would get rid of this and I would run Flail. So, and then run with the morph that has the execute, and that's how I would run Doctor Strange as a 1-bar build. So, okay, that's pretty much it. Pretty simple build, 1-bar build for PVE, and it melts, and you can get up to arc. I'd say comfortably when you first start playing this, you'll get up to arc 4 or 5 on your own, and then with a group you can get up really high. So, all right. You guys have a good day. Bye.